So what we've produced so far are some basic controls using code or declaring with XAML. We're able to display a rectangle or ellipse, or we're able to display a text block similar to a label in Windows Forms or Web Forms. What if we want to actually enter some text? Let's talk about the text box. I'm going to remove the imperative code I had before, and I'm going to override the XAML that we have here, or replace it. So in this case, I'll go with a text box. We can set some initial text again, and we can also just close that off, and you'll see there's a text box. This text box has in fact filled the whole screen in this particular case. Let's give it a deliberate width and height for now, just to make it more appealing to look at. So there's our text box. You'll see it has appeared in the middle of the screen. We'll talk about layout more shortly. If I run the application by clicking the debug button, you'll see that our application simply has a text block in the middle of the screen where we can type some text in here. You'll notice that I'm overriding the text that was there. You'll also see that slightly unnatural sizing we're getting here because of the way we've set the width and the height. You'll notice there's also a button here that can be used for clearing the text field as well. If I want to have a password field, I can alternatively use the password box. We won't give it any text, but we'll give it a width of, let's say, 200, and a height this time something more meaningful of let's say, 80. Let's close that off. Let's remove the text box that we had before, so there's only one of them there. And let's just make it slightly wider. And we'll see what happens when we run the application this time. So this is a password box. You'll see that as I type, we get dots that appear instead of the text for security reasons. Let's just quit the application. So there are a couple of useful properties I might want to set on the password box control. One is the password character that's used, so I can make it an X instead of a dot. The other one is whether password reveal button is enabled, so I'll set that to true. So now when we run, you'll see something slightly different. In this case, you'll see that as I type, I now get the X's that I asked for as characters. But also you see this button that's appeared now, which is a reveal button, making it possible for me to actually see what I was typing. This is a useful feature you might want to provide in an application for users so they can check what they're entering. You may want to not enable it in an application that's very high security. If you want to have a richer experience inside a text box, you might want to also consider the rich edit box. There's also the rich text block to go with it. In this case, we've put just a blank rich edit box inside the application, and it's taking up the whole screen in this particular case. What I'm going to do now is paste in some text that I wrote in Microsoft Word. So you'll see I can paste that text in, and you'll see that I can get the fonts, colors, and font styles that I pasted in from another application.